Committee meeting to order on January 17th at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll begin with a roll call, please.
Ms. Weber?
Present.
Mr. Smith? Present. Ms. Polk?
Present.
Mr. Tholen? Ms. Parker? Present. Mr. Swanson? Mr. Kirkstra?
Present.
Ms. Foster?
Present.
Ms. Andrade?
Present.
Ms. Monday?
Present.
Ms. Rittman-Ekemi?
Present.
Mr. Wheeler?
Present.
Mr. Alexander Hildebrand? We have a quorum.
I need a motion to allow Ms. Monday to attend via camera.
Polk.
Ms. Polk will move it. Anybody second that? Ms. Foster, and it is for medical reasons. So all in favor of allowing that, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say aye. Motion is carried, and welcome to you all. Welcome to everyone.
Thank you.
The minutes are on. Oh, no, let's check. Any public comment from the group in the back? No, I don't see any, and I don't have any forms. So let's go then. The minutes were sent to you from December 20th. Okay. Mr. Smith, would you move that we accept those minutes?
I'll second.
Accept those minutes.
Ms. Polk will second it. All in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, minutes are accepted. We'll turn next to item 4, which is really an exciting item. Hopefully each of you have a tally sheet in front of you so that as these many proposals are open, you can tally as you wish. Let's have a motion, please, from Ms. Parker. Will you move that we open the proposals, and Ms. Polk will second it. All in favor of opening the proposals, say aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
No? Okay, we'll open. And our process is that Chairman Wheeler is going to be the opener, and then you will help be the talliers. And while he's doing that, I'm going to give you a little history of what happened here. So in June of 2022, there was a community needs assessment in the county where we were to find out what are the needs. And then you may have recalled, I'll hold this up, in September there was a news article about what were the results of those. And we found there were some specific needs. After that, there was an acceptance of a fiscal agent, which was Rincon, who was going to be the accountability agency for our county, who takes care of the financial part, Rincon Family Services. And after that, then in December, these proposal requests were sent out to all county areas, and you see that people have responded. So that's where we are today. The opening is today at this very time, 9 o'clock on the 17th, to receive the proposals. What happens next? Well, what they are asked to do in the proposals is to provide information on youth support, mental health, housing, education, and how they would approach the needs of the county in that, as well as to provide structural change, collaborative projects, and transformative projects. And the county board, you have voted to allow up to $2 million for the proposals, and they could be one or four, or they could be a number of them. So what the timeline was in the back page of the proposal, which you all received at one time or the other. And this is the beginning of it. There is a evaluation committee which will look at those through, we hope, February 10th, and it will be brought then to the executive committee on February 28th. And here's the date that's important. It is hoped that the full board meeting in March 14th, will be able to recommend there'll be a recommendation for how to spend $2 million to help the county in those ways. So, do any of you have any comments or questions before we go right to the proposals? What we are going to do today is write down who provided it, and what day they provided it. We will not get any numbers to you today at all because it's complex values to it, and you can see there will be a lot of evaluation to it. So we want to be sure to document that these proposals were received and documented that they were received, and then there'll be the evaluation process. So.
All right.
Okay.
First one here is received January 17th, 8:10 a.m. And it is from the Community Foundation of Kankakee River Valley. It's this one here. Try to somehow keep order up here as best I can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like there's more than 5 copies in there.
Okay.
I believe this. What does your tally sheet say there? It was sealed.
It was sealed.
I see no flash drive.
Okay, so that, there's,
Maybe in the, let me look in a binder to see if there's a flash drive. It's yet to be identified.
Okay.
So if I have to go through the whole box and it's in one of the other folders, I just note that I didn't see one to start with.
so mark that it was sealed and mark 5 copies and then just leave the flash drive blank for now.
All right. This one was received 8:10 a.m. on January 17th. There you go.
Okay,
We'll just start stacking.
so
Alternate.
they are, well, just to begin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copies. So at least 6 copies, and it was sealed, you agree with that? And the organization applying is Still I Rise, is what you write down there. Still I Rise. And then mark them at the last column, a flash drive, because it is right here, so. Okay,
We'll stuff it back in there. Might have to do the U.
oh, yeah.
Use that flash drive. All right, let's start them here.
Okay,
Next one. There you go.
next,
Give me the time.
next one was today, 1:17 at 8:40 a.m. And I'm going to open it up, but it's saying A More Excellent Way Ministries. A More Excellent Way, A More Excellent Way Ministries. And it was sealed. We've opened it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So what's happening here is there is an original in 5 copies. So when you say 6, it's an original in 5 copies, or 6, whichever way you want to say it. It was sealed. I don't see the thumb drive, so you need to leave that part open for now. Is there? Oh, thank you very much. There is a thumb drive, so please, thank you very much.
Take it.
This one is marked the Helen Wheeler Center. Arrived 1:17 at 8:10. It was sealed. Thumb drive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops.
I got it.
Okay. Next, arrived at 1:17 at 8:10 a.m. It was sealed. There are 6 copies and a thumb drive. Merchant Street Art Gallery of Artists with autism. So it's a lot of words to put there. So it begins Merchant Street art gallery of artists with autism. Okay, okay. It was today, 8:10, and all the rest plus the flash drive is there too. That's a little thing you don't want to fall out of the envelope. Okay. Next. Kankakee County is number 6. Is that, everybody agree? Number 6, Kankakee County, NAACP. $117 is the arrival day. 8:15 is the time. It was sealed. Six is the number for copies, original and copies. Excuse me? 117-815, thumb drive. So all areas are correct. I'm going to go to and this is number 7. The time is 8:20 today. So 117-820. It's a sealed bid from, and it is was sealed, and it's from Fortitude Community Outreach. Fortitude Community Outreach. Six copies and a thumb drive in the envelope. 6 and a thumb drive. Okay, so this is, this number 8 is January 11th at 9 a.m. It was sealed. The name on the proposal is Hippocrates Medical Clinic. HIPPOCRATES. Medical Clinic. I'm seeing one copy, and and the envelope does not have a thumb drive in it. Number 9 was received on January 13th. It was sealed. Thumb drive is taped to the proposal, so it's there. Six copies and a thumb drive, and the Community Foundation of, thinking it's Kankakee River Valley, yes. The Community Foundation of Kankakee River Valley. Okay, that was 9. Didn't list it because it was way before the deadline. It was on the 13th, which is 4 days before it was due. So this would happen to have the date on it because it was in time.
These were all sealed. They were just in 2 different envelopes. It's the same proposal.
This all here.
Okay, so it's got the time on it.
Okay, this one was this morning, this number 10 was 117 at 8 a.m. The proposal is from, I'll spell it for you, Orenda, O-R-E-N-D-A, O-R-E-N-D-A. And the other word is Health, H-E-A-L-T-H, LLC. Orenda Health from Mantino. It was sealed. 3, 4, 5, 6 copies. Do you see any? There's a little bulge in here. I'll take them apart and see. Ha! I'm trying. 6.
We're gonna go back in. These are all the same one. This is all one.
This is all one here?
Yeah.
Number 11. January 17th at 8:15 a.m. It was sealed. Three in that one. 3 in that one. And a thumb drive in the bottom. So 6 for Orenda, 6 copies, and a thumb drive.
This, let me give you this one. Here's all the sealed. They sealed each one, but it's the same proposal over and over. Thumb drives in here. Make sense?
Yep.
These are all the same from KCC.
Here, okay.
So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
5, 6.
with a thumb drive.
Kankakee Community College.
So,
Oh, what was it?
the name.
I counted them well, but didn't tell you who. Thank you. Kankakee County Community Services Incorporated. Thank you very much for bringing that back. Kankakee County Community Services Incorporated. Thank you for that. We had everything else needed. Okay, now we're to number 12. Kankakee Community College. Sealed proposal, so that column. It arrived on January 5th. So there's no date, there's a time, no time, but a date of January 5th, way early. Thumb drive is right here. Are you want me to open it?
Probably should open it and see if there's a co-applicant or anything.
Oh, thumb drive and 6 of these.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, it's in yes. It was taped to it. Is this all one here?
No, they're
No,
different.
3 different ones. Okay, this next one, it'd be 13, and it arrived January 17th at 8:10. It was sealed. And there are six copies. And I won't forget, United Way of Kankakee and Iroquois Counties. Okay. This is all by itself?
Yep.
Ah, thumb drive. So that was a complete offering also. That might be better. Okay. These look like the same.
We stamped
Original.
at the same time. Yeah.
Original, okay. So this was this morning, so this is 14 in the last, 14th the last one, 117, 810. Must have been a busy place at 810 this morning, 810, and they were sealed. Right? They were sealed. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the original 6. and the thumb drive is attached. So who is it from, you're asking, right? 6 in 1. It's saying, the proposal is from St. John Paul II Parish. St. John Paul II Parish. And it's complete in other ways. 6 copies and thumb drive. Okay. All right. Do you have all your blanks filled in or any questions as you went up and down? The only one without a flash drive would be number 8, but everybody else had complete and number of copies. What about number 1?
Number 1, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that. It's hard to go back to number 1.
What's the name on it?
Its name is the
Kankakee Valley.
It was the box with the binders.
Community Foundation of Kankakee Valley. We had written down 5 and not a fud, that was where this paper was here. It was out in here.
What about it?
We had,
a zip drive.
No, there wasn't.
Not a drive.
I haven't gone through each folder, but I couldn't see one immediately visible, because sometimes you can put them in the body of a folder, but I'll look through them here while
just
everybody's here.
see if there are 6 copies, so that's.
Oh, yeah,
There are 6 copies, so change, it was 5 and probably 5 in the original. So for number 1, you can mark that as 6 as being original, 1 and 5 or 6. So everything says 6 in that column except number 8. Everything was sealed. Everything had a flash drive except we didn't find number 1s or number 8s.
Oh, I see it, Andy.
Yep.
Oh, good that you're in the front row watching. So on number 1, check flash drive. Those are very hard to see and to miss, and they're very critical, everything too. So very nice. Any other questions? Thank you for your alertness and looking at these. Thank you. So to review what happens next. Next thing that happens is a committee of county board members, I think there are 4 or 5, will be asked to meet and evaluate and score. There is, yes, in the
Very
proposal.
strict criteria on scoring.
In the whole proposal, when you find your copy of this, or it's on the website too, there is a page with a matrix on it of exactly how to write down, they did, this was there, that wasn't there, this did this, or what did this, and that way it becomes less subjective, more objective, and that's one of the things we want to do, is have an objective view of it as well as a compassionate view of it too. And as I mentioned to you, that group will meet from now until February 10th. Hopefully, that will be productive. And at the executive session on February 28th, a recommendation for 1 or more, is that correct, Mr. Wheeler? A recommendation will be made for 1 or more grants, and I presume by how much, for how much, that will be made to executive. Executive will make the recommendation to recommend to the board then what the final recommendation is, which would be hopefully March 14th. And one of the things that it says in here also is that so many days after the award, work has to begin. I think it's 180, I can't recall what it was now, but someplace in here it says whenever work has to begin right away. So it's not something you award and then hope it happens. It will happen too. So, you have any other questions? This is wonderful to go from an assessment to a seeing of needs to action on it, and having the funding to do it is really, really a good idea. So we look forward. I'm glad you're on the committee. I'm glad you'll be here as we follow through and see what happens next. So, okay, any other questions? Okay, let's go forward then with the rest of our meeting. Yes, Kelly's asking, do we need to have a motion to approve them? And I imagine this committee doesn't have that. The committee, the scoring committee will bring it to executive. So we don't have that purpose. Our purpose is to just open and review, and then executive is the one that will make the recommendation. So thank you, Kelly. Mr. Hendrickson's coming up to talk about county clerk. At the end of the table here is a box of chocolates. I'm giving those to Kelly for her own turtle delight, because she has done so much for our committee as well as for this project. So she'll have more to do, but enjoy your turtles on the way.
Thank you.
I hope you like turtles. You love them, all right. So, thank you, Cal.
Thank you.
Okay.
They're made with real turtles, though, so.
Careful of that. Okay, do I have your yes on? Okay, in your materials and your screen, you have the report of the county clerk. So where we were, Mr. Kirkstra, would you move that we accept his report?
Sure, I make a move that we accept the court's report.
Okay. Ms. Foster, would you second that motion? Second. So you'll second it. Okay, let's review. What would you have, as we look at the page here, what would you review for us?
Mrs. Weber last month asked me if I would give you all a breakdown of what our monthly report entails. So as you look at that monthly report, when you see the receipts for the, some of that's pretty obvious, the marriage license, civil license issued, that's marriages and civil unions. The miscellaneous certificates is people who come in to get copies of our birth certificates, death certificates, marriage licenses. Redemption fees, when property taxes go delinquent, they are collected by our office, and there's fees that we collect for that, and that's those fees. The miscellaneous public services is pretty much a catch-all for all of the other things that we do. So estimates of delinquent tax redemption, precinct reports, whether they're paper copies or electronic copies, marriage license duplicates, assumed name business licenses, anything through online genealogy with our Vital Check program, or other genealogies, certifications of documents, passports, redemption reports, passport pictures, temporary liquor licenses, certificate of authority, notaries, very seldom do we get that. And if we have to charge a late fee for economic interest statement filings, that's all included in there. For the clerk automation, the next line down, there is an automation fee for birth, death, and marriage certificates, as well as for our online genealogy, so that's included there. The redemption automation, that's, where are we? That's also there, if you see underneath clerk automation. Public health fee, there's a fees that we are required to pay to the state for death certificates, and part of that's the cemetery over licensing fund. We also do pay the state when we issue marriage licenses, $2 for those marriage licenses goes to the domestic abuse fund. So for our disbursements, the county clerk fees, that's the marriage and civil license issued, that's the things that go to the county or the Department of Public Health or the state treasurer. Those are the things that we mentioned above, and basically how it gets broken out on how we send it out. Everything else is pretty much straightforward. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them to the best of my ability.
So the reason we have 2 pages,
A lot of stuff.
it's just a same report for December with all it combined and added together and going out too. So any questions about that at all? Just to take all the money that is given to you and give it to something else.
Yep.
In cases, so, okay. So we had a motion, a second. All in favor of accepting this material, please say aye. Aye. Anybody?
Aye.
Opposed? Any opposed, say aye. Motion carried. Okay.
Okay, the other thing that I had, if you saw in the Journal this weekend,
I'm going to hold it up for you.
Did I make the front page?
Yeah.
Awesome. I wasn't sure about that. I'm not a subscriber. So every year we do a summary of our vital statistics of the things that we get, take in either births or deaths or marriages. And for 2022, there were 1,223 births registered in Kankakee County. That's 45 less than what we had the previous year. The most popular boys' names were Noah, Walker, Bennett, and William. The most popular girls' names, Olivia, Isla, Layla, and Madison. The most popular month for children being born was August and December. For marriage licenses, we issued 520 marriage licenses, which is 11 less than we did the year before. Oldest groom was 84, oldest bride was 78. Don't know if they married each other. Youngest bride and groom were both 18 years of age, and June was the most popular month to be married. That's a bit of a difference from previous years. October used to be our most popular month. And then 1,252 deaths in Kankakee County last year, and that's down from 140 from 2021.
And that's the good news, isn't it? 100 less deaths than last year, and those
Yes.
had extenuating circumstances in some cases. For
Yes.
sure. Okay. Anything else?
That's all I had. If anyone had any questions, I'd be happy to answer them to the best of my ability.
So we're going to talk about an open house, but what we've had in the past from the clerk's office is a welcome. You welcomed us to look at new voting machines at one time. So.
Yeah. When we were going through the process of acquiring the new voting machines, we had an open house for both the county board members and for the public and for our election judges to come and take a look at our equipment and kind of see what it was and what the potentials were. We decided on the one system, and we've been using that for 2 elections now. And been well received by voters and by our judges. And if anybody's interested in looking at that, we're going to start early voting for the April election within the next month or so.
Is that right?
So if you want to come down and take a look at it, I'd be happy to show you.
Still welcoming election judges and also.
Yeah, absolutely. The need for election judges is always there. So if you know somebody that would be interested in serving as an election judge, please have them reach out to our office.
Good report. Anything else you'd like to ask? Okay, thank you very much.
I'm running. Have a
You're
great
running?
day.
Okay. Next on your agenda is assessor. So Mr. Blair, could you come forward and we'll talk about that? You see in your report, the supervisor of assessments report on 2 pages. And Ms. Andrade, would you move that we accept that report? Ms. Mundy, would you second it, please?
Second.
Thank you. We'll review what he has to tell us. What Mr. Blair did last month, as you recall, is gave us a year in one look. What happens the whole year? So now you're going to tell us about what happened this month, right, Mr. Blair?
That is correct.
Okay, let me get you on. Okay, now you're on.
That is correct. Good morning. Just wanted to take you through some of the things that we finished up in December after our meeting, and then some things that we've done in January leading up to today, and some things that we may be looking forward to in the next month or so. So after our final Board of Review hearings, I did check to see if we needed any final abstract equalization. The Board of Review did not reduce enough value to need any equalization at their level, so that was safe, and I was pretty sure it would be, but I still need to check the math, so that was fine. I delivered all of the final abstract reports and documentation to the county clerk prior to the end of the year. I held an annual meeting with the township assessors. That's a statutory obligation, something that we just talk about the coming year of assessments and get together and talk through those things. We had that in December as well. I rolled the DevNet system to 2023. That was on, I believe it was January 4th or January 5th. And we prepared the assessment books for distribution to the township assessors. Some townships require a physical book that we print. Others we do a import-export exchange of digital data. So I've gotten all of those things ready. As far as things that we're looking for in the future, I know that the Department of Revenue is going to ask me some questions about the final abstract that the clerk will mail in, or has probably mailed in already. So I'll be able to reconcile those questions. And then at that point, I'd be looking for the Department of Revenue to certify the final abstract to me, so that, or to the clerk, so that they can begin extension when they are ready.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my report for the month. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
So it's a cooperative effort, isn't it? What you do, you pass on, which passes on.
Absolutely, yeah. What we do passes on to the clerk. The clerk then does extension. those things then go on to the treasurer, and that's kind of the full tax cycle in a nutshell, with the 3 departments down on the first floor primarily. Some things go through the recorder as well, so she can potentially speak on that, but mostly it's on the first floor there, which is nice to have us all centrally located together to help the public, get the services that they need all in one spot.
Yeah, that's true. It really has helped, hasn't it?
Yes.
Are you full? You have all the assessors you need, and
Yes, we have. We don't have any vacancies. We have some that are a couple that are appointed, or I'm sorry, contracted, and so we don't have any vacancies at this time, and that's a good thing.
it's a really good thing. So that the records stay up to date that way for people, isn't it? So
Sure.
The other good news that you reported is that there wasn't a change in assessed value a great deal through those hearings, and that's really good. It shows the good work of the assessor when there's not many changes.
Sure, absolutely.
Anything else? Good report. We'll have the vote then. All in favor of accepting that report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say aye. Motion is carried. Thank you, Mr. Blair.
Have a good day, folks.
You too. Next, we have on the agenda Lori Gadboy Recorder Report, and she should be smiling because she told me yesterday she has something she wants to tell you today. So first we'll go back to Mr. Smith again. Would you move that we accept that report? Okay, Ms. Polk, will you second it?
Sure will,
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. You see the report. Looking on your page, what things you have a couple, that your report consists of 3 pages at least, 3 pages.
It's pretty typical activity. Unfortunately, we are going to be seeing that the numbers are probably going to be dwindling a little bit more as we are seeing what the mortgage rates are coming in at, which is going to slow the process. So, but there are people still out there buying commercially as well as residentially, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And just for assurance, I did go through and audit the entire report, so everything is grammatically and correct on my report.
That's good. And as we looked at for the 2021 or 2022, I'm gonna look, I have to turn down 22. And the numbers for the last 3 months at least have been consistent.
Yeah.
So it isn't that we're disappointed. It's just
No.
consistent of what's going on. And we were just too giddy when we were up there in August.
We are a reflection of the economy,
Oh, sure.
so we have no control over that.
Okay.
So we just provide good service when it comes through.
Yeah, and it's still a magnificent thing that you can do this online. You know.
Yes.
Anyway,
So I'm going to start with the bad news.
let me accept your report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Go
all in
ahead.
favor of accepting that report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say aye. Motion carried. Okay, go ahead.
So
with that.
bad news. So we, for the last 3 years, have been fighting with the General Assembly on a bill called RHSP. Currently, since 2006, we've had a line item for RHSP, which is $10. $9 goes to the Department of Revenue, and $1 stays in the county for administrative costs. There has been a group up in the northern area that has been fighting and asking for that to be doubled.
to 20?
We have been successful for 2 years, but unfortunately, we were not successful this last go around. It was during the lame duck session. We got notice at 8 o'clock the night before. It was going to be before the executive committee. And we did our best. We tried really hard. And I got to tell you, the support from our legislators, both in the Senate and the House, they were texting me, asking me questions, how they can further argue the point. I listened in on the argument. Sue Resin over in Grundy was awesome. She did a phenomenal job, but unfortunately, when it came down to it, we lost. So this is going into effect July 1. So I will be out publishing that our fees will be increasing. And unfortunately, what this means now is $18
Oh,
of RHSP dollars will be going to the Department of Revenue. And let me give you a breakdown of how that works. Of the 9, $3 was put into a pool for 101 counties. $6 was put into a pool for our northern county.
now.
We don't know the exact breakdown of how the rest of the money is going to be allocated, but I can assure you it's probably not going to be in our favor. The only good thing we got out of the argument with this is that we are demanding a task force of oversight.
Oh, mhm.
On that task force, 3 recorders have to sit on the task force. My name has been floated. Will County's name has been floated, and Sangamon County's name has been floated. So we're hoping, right now we're in that administrative, how is this happening and stuff like that. We are advocating dollars come back to our counties. Kankakee has been fortunate in the past for this grant through Department of Revenue for housing support, but in speaking with our local person, the just the process to apply for it and then oversight has become, in his mind, unduly burdensome and not worth it. So what does that do with that pool of money? We're north, right? We're north. Whatever. That's always north to me, behind me. We're going to stop that. If we're having to collect these dollars from our constituents who are recording in our offices, we are going to fight to make a difference for the people in our county somehow.
Well, it's not fair.
It's no, and yeah, we tried. It just.
Are you wondering, as I am, would you tell us what RHSP is again?
It's Rental Housing Support Program, and it was a program that was created 2005, 2006 with the intent to help with low-income rental opportunities. Section 8 is a similar program, if you're familiar with that.
And who is it collected from? Who you're collecting the $10 or $20 from?
From everyone who records a document in my office.
Okay, so it's
Every
everyone.
real estate related document pays that fee.
Whether-
So the fees in my office are broken down. They're, they just don't all go to me. There's general fund fees. There's state of Illinois fees. There is Department of Revenue fees. There's GIS fees. So of my current recording fee of $57, it's kind of sliced and diced.
So just to put it practically, on your report,
Yeah.
that very first
Yes,
column is the
you're right.
RHSP fee.
Yes.
And all the rest of them that you just talked about with the recorder and the photostat and
Right.
GIS. So
Yes.
you can see at the point, the end of November, it was 100. Well, anyhow, in November there was 11,000 collected. But of that, you said if every
Real estate related document.
$10, $1 stayed here and 9 went to another place.
Right. 9 goes to the Department of Revenue for disbursement.
And in the future,
It'll be
18 will go there and 2 will stay here. So you've doubled your revenue, but
And we didn't even ask for that. They threw that at us like it was supposed to make a difference.
Make you feel fine.
But like I said, Pat Joyce and Jackie Haas both were really great in their respective chambers in arguing on our behalf. It's just unfortunate.
Just overwhelmed. Yeah.
So that's my bad news.
Yeah, but look, listen.
I hate to lose.
There's some good news.
Good news. The shelving finally arrived. And I got to thank Wes and his staff because for 3 days they worked with me moving all the old stuff out, putting the new stuff in place, and literally having to unscrew and rescrew and every screw back into the shelving. So they were wonderful, and we laughed. and we got the books for the most part back in place.
Do you, huh?
So we are officially stating that on February 14th, your next county board meeting,
Uh,
which happens to be 3 days after the official charter date of Kankakee County, and it would be our 160th year,
wow.
we will be having an open house in the recorder's office and essentially on the second floor, because Delbert and his staff are very interested, because we do work so well together with GIS and planning. He is opening up his offices as well too. So we're thinking 10:30-ish to about 1 that day. We would love to have any of you and all of you walk through our office, as well as the public that we'll be inviting, and see what we do, see what we've accomplished, taking all of those records from 1853 forward and preserving them for the next 100 years. Makes a big difference.
Making them very accessible.
Yes.
Very accessible.
Yes.
So,
And there's more projects to come
really.
in terms of how the accessibility will be that much more out there online. So
Well,
we're excited
it
about
did
that.
be. We've talked about that for 4 months or more.
Yeah.
So this is
Yes.
good. So put it on your calendar.
Yeah.
It is February 14th is a regular county board
Yes,
meeting.
it is.
And you're talking about after that's over, we'll
Yes.
come downstairs.
Yeah. You're going to go from 4 to 2. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make the elevator have to stop at 2.
Stop
I
at
don't know.
2.
We'll see. Unless you take the stairs.
Yeah. Any questions about that? Thank you for your inviting us.
Yes.
And-
Any other questions on the report or unfortunate? No.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you. I
news, bad
appreciate
news.
it all. Thank you.
She also has a photo on her phone of the new shelves if you want to see.
Well, or you could just stop
Oh,
in
stop
because they're
in.
there.
Okay.
Yep, if you want a sneak peek.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Animal control report. Carrie Laird's here. You see your report. It has 2 pages also. So we are to Ms. Parker. Will you move that we accept that report?
I'll second.
Ms. Polk will second it. So let's look at the report. What would you highlight for us, Ms. Laird?
The IPTIP building fund, I didn't get this report from the treasurer's office in time, so it does not have those filled out. So I don't quite know what was in those funds. I want to say maybe $60,000 in the IPTIP. I don't know what we put in last month.
So what you're seeing here is $17.81.
That was
but-
last year
yeah.
it was put in.
Oh, so what she's saying is that isn't the correct number. It's probably 60,000.
Yeah, it was what for the yearly total to date. That's in the IPTIP fund. I don't have that
Okay.
or what we put in last month.
And from that fund, you've recently spent money on a building. Things
We have,
so-
yes. Also, the registration and population control fund, that number is significantly high from last year, but 15,000 of that is for 2022 registration, not for 2023, because they come in randomly and the reports or the money doesn't always get to us in time. We actually have quite a few veterinarian offices outstanding currently for November and December. So
Oh, that's
we're
been
just waiting on
a
those.
constant comment you've made about
is.
that. Even though it's saying you're saying the number 47,000 is high.
That maybe has been September, October registration, things like that. So, yeah.
And I think when Mr. Eckhoff was on the committee, he had asked about how trying to get that collected for you, how you could do that.
We discussed maybe doing an ordinance, something like that. So I'll have to look into that further. I haven't done anything yet, but possibly doing an ordinance to. I just don't know what the downside of it would be. So.
Or a timeline on it. And that's what the ordinance would do, is put a deadline on getting that money to you. So
Right, and
there's-
what's the downside to the veterinarians if they don't report to us? How do we, I don't know what we can do on that end.
but thousands of dollars makes a difference in your budget.
It does, especially when we're paying for a new building that we have to, we've already submitted the first payment last month.
Good.
Or this month, I want to say. We already submitted the first payment. So there was a shock to the system, but the money was there. So
As promised.
yeah.
What else down the line about any comments on the bites? Just that's what's happening. Huh?
Yeah, there's less this year than there were last
Sure.
year, which is a good number to report, but we still have more bites in the county. We still have animals. We have 2 animals at our facility. One is a stray with a bite and one is an own animal with a bite. So we house those animals as well.
Quarantine kind of thing.
Yes.
the options, there are 24 adoptions reported down at under C at the bottom there, and those, they were transferred in most cases, 21 of them
Yes.
transferred, which you've continued to say that other agencies have taken your transfers.
They have. They're slow to take. Cats are easy. We can get cats out the door, no problem. Dogs, it's some dogs we've had in our building since August, September, October. I don't like to hold them that long just because our shelter isn't conducive to the lifestyle they need, but they've been surviving there. They've been great, but it'd be better if rescue were to come down and take them for us.
And on the, anything on this first page before we turn to the second page? The second page talks about intake and ending inventory of 24. Well, the other is to mention that you had dealt with 65 animals in a month too, but anything about this page, I think one thing that came up was the euthanasia, that you unfortunately by behavior had 10 euthanasias.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. So we get those animals that the public wants to let go and they don't do well in the shelter lifestyle, or they don't do well with our behavior assessment, and unfortunately we can't have those animals back in society, so they have to be euthanized. It's not a good part of any of our job. It's a very sad part of the day for the whole entire staff, but it's something that has to be done for the better of the community.
Well, the quality of the animal's life is very much part of that too.
It is, and you have to find, if you have a dog that is can have other dogs around them, or it's female or male only, it's hard to find that specific person. Rescues can do that, and if rescues were able to take them, we could push them out there, but unfortunately rescues aren't able to take our dogs that can go with anybody. So it's not rescue's fault by any means, it's just everybody is full of animals at this time.
Okay. Anything else about it? I encourage you to look on the website for animal control, because there are pictures, photos of dogs that you're looking for their home, who they're lost, and others who you have adoptability of them too. So
we have some great animals. For as far as the building on Mooney Drive, I've talked to the architects a few times. We have a meeting this Friday to discuss some information. It's nice to see the plan in place where there's a sink and there's an exam table and there's desks and offices. It's nice to see that actually come to fruition on paper. So, and I'm getting excited for it. So hopefully in March they'll start construction.
Really?
Maybe it will be in 10 months or so. So that's the hope.
if you haven't driven by, please drive by, because it looks positive, doesn't it? For you too.
I'm excited for it. The whole staff's excited for it. We're all ready for it. One last winter in our place is all we're hoping for, and then we'll be into a new place. So.
Anything else about that report? Okay, while you're here, then let's approve her report. All in favor of approving her report, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, motion is carried. Carries up here. We'll go to the report from Animal Welfare Advisory Committee. Tell us, Ms. Parker. Let me get number 8 on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We had a very productive meeting last week. Ms. Laird allowed us to come into the new animal control building so our committee could see the vision, see the rooms. They were very pleased. Some had seen it already, but I will tell you, the vets that I talked to afterwards, they were really impressed with it and happy that it's going forward. We are going to be, next meeting will be in February, and we would probably start our discussion seriously about an emergency vet or some sort of clinic for after hours animals who are hurt, because there's a need. I know there's a need here. I had to use it. I had to go to Orland Square to take one of my cats who was critical, and they weren't able to keep watch over him. And I drove up every day to visit, and they were very good, but it would be so convenient if we had something in our area that would address those needs of injured or sick animals after hours.
After hours, meaning after day hours and after weekend hours?
Well, when the vet offices are closed. You know, it's really hard. Fortunate for us that our vet was open when Argyle became critical. And I was, there was recommended to take him either to Champaign or up north, and for treatment. So had I not, Argy would have died. And it would have been really sad, very sad.
So-
But yeah, there's something that we have on our future planning.
So after next meeting, we'll report, see how the discussion has come about.
Absolutely. We had a good turnout. We had a nice quorum. And I can ask Carrie, and you felt that the vets were impressed with everything that we have coming forward in the animal control building. I know that they were. I know that several of them I talked to afterwards were really happy.
Yeah, well, everyone in the county would be, especially your staff, pleased to be in a new building, and it's so attractive. It's such a nice building on the curve there. So.
It is, and we even stood up and had our meeting around the counter. We didn't have chairs, but we still did what we needed to do. So I want to thank Carrie again for allowing us to come in and visit and see what's going to be happening in the future, and we support you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here today. Under the next item of business number 10, a new and old business. Ms. Polk, did you have something you wanted to add to new business?
Excuse me. Yes, I want to thank everyone that helped this weekend with the Dr. Martin Luther King celebration. I'd like to thank all the county board members that contributed to the scholarship fund. Last year, we were able to give away 13 scholarships all over Kankakee County. And this year, we hope to do that, plus even better. And definitely a big thanks to Lori Gadbois, who I'm sure we worked her to death Monday, and also Mrs. Weber for all her endless work and help for the scholarship committee and the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Foundation. Thank you all.
Yes, and any of you that know the event and the picture was on the paper too, that wonderful speaker that we had, and speakers all the time, and know the hours and hours that Dr. Polk puts into this event too, and it is successful. It runs smoothly, and people recognize the importance of the events and the importance of the lady in charge. So thank you for all that. Okay, thanks for being here. I wanted to last of all say, Chairman Wheeler has mentioned to us in the past, please look online for meetings that you can't attend, and I really, really want to emphasize that. When the buildings committee met the other day, there was a PowerPoint program given by West about all the projects that are going on in the county. Very, very, very helpful and informative, as well as criminal justice has great things. So please, if you can't attend a meeting, look online and look through it, because when it comes time to the board meeting, you have all the information you need for all the questions. So anything else you'd like to add? Okay, then Ms. Foster, would you like to move that we adjourn?
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Polk will second that we adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say no. Motion